John Deaton is urging Kamala Harris, a Democrat candidate for president, to demonstrate her support for Bitcoin by vowing to resign from her position as Gary Gensler's replacement. Harris is currently leading the Democratic presidential campaign. John Deaton, a Republican candidate for the Senate, has requested that Kamala Harris, a Democrat candidate for the presidency, submit documentation to illustrate her recent shift toward the cryptocurrency business. Deaton's request comes while Harris is running for the presidency. Harris is being asked to provide an explanation for her sudden shift of attitude toward Bitcoin and other forms of cryptocurrencies. The cryptocurrency industry as a whole is also asking for an answer from Harris. One of the suggestions that Deaton makes is that the Democratic presidential candidate should make a solemn commitment that Gary Gensler will step down from his position immediately. John Deaton, along with a number of other persons, issued a warning to the cryptocurrency community over Kamala Harris's recent crypto reset. This warning was sent as part of the most recent and critical pro-XRP attorney who worked on the case. Deaton stated that the most important thing that Harris could do to indicate that she is serious about Bitcoin and the formation of a digital asset market would be to demand that Gary Gensler, who is the chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission, resign immediately. This was believed to be the most important thing that Harris could accomplish during her administration. From the perspective of individual investors, he maintains that Gensler bears a greater degree of responsibility for the damage than Sam Bankman did for it. To begin, the concept of regulation by enforcement that was implemented by the SEC under the leadership of Gensler is a significant reason why consumers and investors resorted to offshore firms such as FTX. This philosophy was implemented amongst the leadership of Gensler. Gensler had numerous meetings with Sam Bankman-Fried, but he refused to offer any form of contact, including emails, notes, and letters. This brings us to the second point. According to John Deaton, the fact that Harris has requested that Gensler resign from his position would be advantageous for the Bitcoin sector as a whole. In addition, he stated that the demonstration of one's good faith has the potential to become a step that is historically significant in the history of cryptography. As Donald Trump had anticipated, Gensler was going to be terminated from his position. During a conversation, Anthony Scaramucci, the founder of Skybridge Cabral Al, and Charles Gasparina, a senior writer for Fox Business, explored the prospect that the administration of Kamala Harris may terminate its relations with Senator Elizabeth Warren. 75,000 investors in XRP have been protected by John Deaton, who has taken legal action against the United States Securities and Exchange Commission on his own initiative. In his case, he argued against the legal theory of the Securities and Exchange Commission SEC, which was a violation of securities regulations that had been in place for 8 decades and a catastrophe for the financial lives of average users and investors. The judge ultimately reached the same conclusion as the attorney for XRP. Judge Torres, a lifelong Democrat who was selected by President Obama, is the individual that Vice President Harris has to interrogate over the Securities and Exchange Commission's lack of steadfast devotion to the law. Judge Torres was appointed by President Obama. One of the decisions that Harris attempted to have faith in was the one that Judge Torres provided. As a result of its arbitrary and critical actions, the Securities and Exchange Commission was found to have committed a violation of the law, as stated by the Court of Appeals. As claimed by Deaton, the judge in the debt box case slapped fines on the Securities and Exchange Commission for participation in fraudulent activities and flat outlined to the court. These actions were taken in response to the allegations made by Deaton. The price of XRP has climbed by more than 1% over the course of the past 24 hours, and it is currently being traded at $0.608. This is a result of renewed hope. In the past 24 hours, there has been a little decrease in the total quantity of trading that has taken place. Ripple Labs has been presented with a substantial settlement offer by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, which has prompted members of the financial sector within the business to engage in conversation on the matter. In light of this action, a number of observers have arrived to the conclusion that Ripple and the SEC have successfully reached an agreement over the settlement of their dispute. It is predicted that the conclusion of the Ripple CC settlement will take place within a few days or at the most within a week, as the broad consensus is that it is not only likely but also imminent. The completion of the settlement is expected to take place immediately. In general, commentators consider Ripple's recent strategic choice to buy back XRP and announce large exchange listings to be an essential component of the agreed criteria in their settlement with the SEC. This view is supported by the fact that Ripple came to this conclusion. The fact that Ripple has brought forth these disclosures lends credence to the argument that has been made. The fact that more than 19 central banks have expressed interest in adopting the XRP token and using the XRP ledger is evidence that the potential Influence of XRP is significantly more extensive than it appears to be at the moment. The significance of this level of institutional involvement means that there is a possibility of a spike in the value of XRP, with projections reaching as high as $110,000. This is because of the amount of institutional involvement. Recent occurrences have demonstrated that a phenomenal amount of 9.4 billion XRP has been gathered through a cooperative effort by more than 19 central banks. This is just the beginning, as an increasing number of financial institutions are beginning to actively employ not only the XRP ledger and the native XRP currency, but also additional currencies that function within the XRP ecosystem. This is just the beginning. At this point, we are only at the beginning, the case that Ripple is facing before the SEC is getting closer and closer to being settled, which may be connected to a substantial chunk of the recent success that the XRP market has had. Ripple Labs has been issued with its very first settlement offer by the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is one of the most recent episodes in the ongoing drama. A significant disgorgement charge in the amount of $770 million is included in the agreement, and its purpose is to bring a stop to the drawn-out legal battle once and for all. The regulatory authority gave the impression that it was ready to negotiate a more advantageous agreement for Ripple with the company. This was shown by the fact that it issued the statement. One may make an intriguing connection between this new trend and the actions taken by some of the most prominent entities in the financial sector, such as the Federal Reserve, which have started to accumulate XRP. This link could be considered as an interesting correlation. One thing that is particularly noteworthy is the fact that BlackRock and JP Morgan have purchased more than 7.5 million XRP together at the same time that an anticipated listing for XRP took place. This circumstance is a significant victory for Ripple Labs, particularly in light of the decision that Judge Ensign Horace made in the Ripple CC action. In that decision, he determined that XRP is a retail asset rather than a security, which enables a greater number of institutions to interact with the XRP digital currency and ledger. This is a significant victory for Ripple Labs, taking into account the enormous sums of money that it is going to make possible, which are expected to be in the trillions and quadrillions. A great number of analysts and specialists have come to the conclusion that it is possible for XRP to reach $10,000 per coin. This is as a result of the clarity that has been offered in the legal environment. When combined with the tremendous demand for XRP, the limited supply of the cryptocurrency makes it challenging to manage transactions on such a large scale. In order to ensure that there is adequate currency available to facilitate the payments that are being made, it is necessary for financial transactions to have a high value. It is not only a speculative goal for the price of XRP to reach $10,000, it is a realistic ambition. Instead, it is regarded a requirement for the cryptocurrency to be able to handle a significant number of financial transactions all over the world without reducing the amount of funds available for use. Large financial institutions such as BlackRock and Wall Street giants are concentrating their attention on XRP, which is a digital asset. This is a strong indicator that there is a growing interest in XRP, which is a digital asset. There is a growing interest in the use of the XRP digital asset from a regulatory perspective, as indicated by the Federal Reserve's repeated references to XRP and Ripple Labs in their reports. There is a clear indication that its potential has been acknowledged, as evidenced by the rising engagement. Additionally, this is yet another indicator that the Federal Reserve is increasing its involvement in the economy. In light of the fact that the Securities and Exchange Commission is currently engaged in negotiations to resolve the Ripple litigation, it is essential to observe this development, a situation that is really quite exceptional. It is quite possible that this change of heart is a reaction to the pressure that has been applied by the federal government. This is due to the fact that the desire to adopt XRP is obvious across a variety of entities, including the Federal Reserve and the United States.